What up, what up, what up? Back at it again. Real Fans Podcast. Another week in the show. We got the boys in the house. That's Jojo. That's Julian.
I just realized, hold up, this don't look right. Hold up. I got y'all. There we go. There we go.
I'm like, listen, yo, guys, I've been gone for 1 or 2 episodes. Like, don't try to replace my spot already.
I didn't even realize
that. I think that's too much for Gabe to hold down the middle area here. Like, so.
Yeah, can handle the island Gabe.
I'm an island boy. Anyways, another week in the books. We're in the middle of sports. Week 4 NFL. We're in the middle of MLB, about to go into the playoffs. We're looking at wildcard races. Basketball's about to start up. We just had media day. But let's get into the NFL. Let's talk about last week, week 4, going into the week. Probably one of the biggest games of the year. I'm telling you, this is like Super Bowl championship. Let's talk about the Jaguars versus the Eagles. I mean, the implications here.
The Dougie P revenge game?
The implications of this game. I want to get off because I know Julian wants to talk about his game. Let's talk about the Jags and how he's such a homer for the Jags. He thought that the Eagles were going to come in there and get swamped by the Jags. But let's talk about the game. What happened to you?
Okay. So actually, you know what? For once, I'm going to shout out the Philadelphia fans. They actually gave my man Dougie P a standing ovation when he came into the stadium because they know damn well no other man has given that city a championship. Or at least in a long time. So I'm glad that they did that. That was cool. I thought they were going to boo him because, I don't know why they call that city the city of brotherly love, because they could be assholes over there and the fans could be a brutal place to play. But anyways, it still was a brutal place to play, even in a monsoon that was going on.
That wasn't a monsoon.
Ridiculous.
It was raining. It wasn't a monsoon.
No, actually, everybody said, even like Eagles fans were saying, like the TV didn't do it justice. Like if you're actually at the stadium, it was blowing like 20 miles per hour, full on rain. So just letting it there. Obviously, I'm not using it as an excuse.
Sounds like one, but
both teams had to play in it. I don't like using weather as an excuse if both teams had to play in it. But first and foremost, the Eagles honestly might be the best team in the league. I think they deservedly so. They're really good top to bottom. And I will say this as a Jags fan, even though the Jags lost, I think what they did was, they stayed competitive. Obviously, there's a lot of huge mistakes. Look, you went from the West Coast all the way over to the East Coast in back-to-back road games and played in a monsoon, and you were still competitive. And honestly, you can easily say should have won that game. They should have. You had 5 turnovers, and you were still a one-possession game. You eliminate those 5 turnovers, the Jags should win that game. They should have. They had an interception in the red zone. Trevor Lawrence he is not used to playing with wet balls apparently, because he was dropping them left and right.
But then he's gonna have to grease them up a few times in next few games. So
yeah. But Jags came off with a hot start, 14-0. Eagles bounced back in the second quarter to make it 20-14. But the story of this game was just Jags' mistakes, and they couldn't stop the run. But I still think even the fact that they couldn't stop the run, Eagles are the number 1 run offense in the league. They are really have the best offensive line. After watching this past week, they have the best offensive line I've seen in the NFL so far. They are extremely good. Even with having 2 starters out, the way they scheme up that offensive line and the depth they have there is just unreal. Miles Sanders was running all over us.
Have a day.
Yeah. A total of 216 rushing yards. It was insane. But the Eagles also didn't have a great game as well. Even with all those rushing yards, they still only put up 29 points. I thought they could have played better considering that they had 5 turnovers. But yeah, that kind of shows the testament to the Jags defense. Even though that they couldn't stop the run, the Jags defense did enough for to win that game, and the offense just fell apart between just so many fumbles on good drives too, and that crucial interception. You eliminate 2 of those turnovers, Jags could win that game. A touchdown and then a field goal. So even though I was really I was really upset. I acknowledge, every team's got to lose, so, and I'm still proud that they fought even and still managed to lose by one possession.
So what do you guys
turnover 5 times
right now?
2-2 right now.
Not a bad start for Jags.
Yeah, I mean nobody's expecting.
And it was a good, and the Eagles are a good team, and they played in the fucking monsoon. So
I'm glad you said just that because I'm gonna clip you giving compliments to the Eagles because all the trash talk you talk week 2, week 3 saying the Eagles are overrated. They're busted.
I never said the Eagles are overrated. I never said that.
Frauds. And
Jojo said the Eagles are frauds. I never said that they were.
Anyway, somebody's going to win the AFC South. So it's got to be at least Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got to come out. I mean, the Saints not looking too great. Whatever.
Saints is NFC South.
NFC South. I don't know. Whatever team your division is in, somebody needs to win that division.
Colts, Titans, Houston. There you go, Gabe.
So it's not a bad loss. Yeah, I mean, this game pretty much there was the Eagles. The Eagles didn't play a great game. It wasn't perfect. Obviously, they're playing in the rain or whatever. I mean, devastating turnovers from Trevor Lawrence. The sack fumbles, getting sacked, bad interception in a bad spot, trying to come back.
And they just dropping one just by himself. Like, did you see that one? Just running out to the bootleg, and he just drops it.
It was wet conditions. The Eagles did have a couple drops too. The dirt. I think their tight end had a couple drops.
Oh yeah, he choked. He choked the touchdown.
Yeah. So rough game, but guess what? Everybody's playing both conditions. You play two sides of the field. I feel like the Eagles definitely I had them to winning this whole thing. It was a lot closer than what I expected. I mean, shout out to.
Look, Jags was competitive, right? They kept it competitive. They even won a 14-zip, which is shocking, right? We want to see that's what you want to see compared to last season, right? They already got 2 wins under their belt. Unfortunate loss here, but they're on the right track for Julian. So, I think he's feeling pretty good about himself and his team right now.
They're playing like a playoff team for sure. I mean, the way the defense is playing out of their mind, the offense was good. Maybe in better conditions, they perform better in the offensive side. Who knows? But yeah, they're definitely, like you said, 5 turnovers. Like, you see 5 turnovers, you expect like a blowout. Yeah. And it wasn't. So, that speaks volumes.
A lot of mistakes. Also, penalties were a factor. Some dumb penalties happened in that game that went against Jacksonville, obviously. So, obviously, I had Eagles winning it by a lot more. I didn't think their point was going to be this close, but, it's kind of what I expected. Eagles will win. The Eagles are the better team.
You did get the Eagles to cover 6.5. I said they would close it in. They should have, but they didn't.
So, man, Eagles are going forward. They're the only team, lossless team.
Winless.
Undefeated.
Wait.
Not winless. Lossless.
Undefeated, yeah. Undefeated.
So shout out to the Eagles. We'll see who they play next week.
Hey, Julian, for the one time you're paying your respects, I got to see it.
You got to fly. Fly, Eagles, fly.
You're paying respects. Oh.
Only because Dougie P's their coach. That's the only reason.
All right. Let's talk about another game, probably the biggest game of the entire week. There's a lot of terrible games. A lot of this week, there was a lot of close games. Games got close.
A lot of close games. It was like 8 games in one possession.
All garbage games, but not this game right here. This is talking about the Bills at Ravens in Baltimore. Tough matchup. Obviously, these are 2 prospective playoff teams going forward. Bills going into Baltimore. Jojo, what do you think about this matchup? What were your expectations coming into this game?
Honestly, at this point of the season, both teams have lost. They're both quarterbacks are playing for MVP so far this season. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson playing out of their minds. And the 2 games they lost, man, what's up with Baltimore giving up big leads, dude? They're out here dropping points left and right. Lamar can only do so much. Now the defense putting him in situations where he has to take risks. As we can see in that Bills game, they went for it on 4th down. Was 4th and goal, right? And he threw a pick right there in the end zone. Yeah. I think they did the right thing and went for it instead of playing it safe. I think it was like 4.5 minutes on the clock. So if they got the field goal, Josh Allen had a chance to take it downfield. They try to eliminate that, try to make sure they guaranteed a touchdown. But you can't throw a pick, man. You can't. You can't make that. You can't let that happen. Super good game. 2 great teams. We're going to see one of those 2 teams possibly in the Super Bowl. Calling it now.
Yeah, I think they're Super Bowl favorites. The Bills definitely are. Julian, what was your takeaway from this game? What did you think about the Bills coming out 23-20.
Look, I think Lamar Jackson's playing out of his mind. But as a team as a whole, I do not think the Ravens can make the Super Bowl. They allow way too many points. That defense is atrocious. They are allowing way too much, and they're relying way too much on the offense to keep them in games. And as long as they continue to, I don't even know what the stats are, but I'm curious to see what the stats are. Like the yards allowed, average points allowed, like because they even held anybody under 20 points at all this season so far?
I don't know. All their games are surprisingly close, but they're dropping so much points.
And I'm just like, bro, defense wins championships. Like, it don't matter how offense heavy we get over the years, defense still wins championships. Like, and if you cannot stop the passing attack, which is the biggest hurdle they need to get over, I don't see them like making it far, but at all.
Point of reference, week 1, the Ravens held the Jets to 9 points, and that's it. Everything else has been double digits, at least 20,
Jets with Joe Flacco.
At least 20 points or more they've given up.
Jets with Joe Flacco, my bad.
26 to New England, and obviously 42 to the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins gave 6 touchdowns that game after being up 3 touchdowns, which is ridiculous.
Dolphins is another one that just allows points left and right.
Yeah, I think my takeaway from this game is I think we saw, last week, I think we saw, when the Bills played Dolphins, obviously, I think we seen Josh Allen have a bad game. This was also kind of one of these games where, like, he seemed a little bit more frantic. Like, there was a lot of more pressure on him, and he obviously making stuff happen. Obviously, when he's running out the pocket.
Yep.
I think he had like 11 carries, 70 yards. So, and he scored a touchdown actually on a long, like, kind of a freestyle play, kind of a backyard, schoolyard play. So I've seen, there's a little bit chink in that armor, right? Josh Allen's he's not infallible. He's not like, he's not untouchable. Like we've seen him have at least a couple bad games. Obviously, come out with the win. You'll take that W anytime. But Josh Allen, at least this far early in the season, I expect the Bills to clean it up because the expectations for them is Super Bowl or bust. Like y'all have been in the AFC Championship for so long and failed. Like they're like Super Bowl or nothing. So there's a lot of tension, a lot of pressure on the Bill side, and Josh Allen not playing as great as he could be. He gets part of the season, but who knows? Maybe they'll get more. I don't know what's going on with Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis had a great opening game, the wide receiver. I haven't seen anything from him. Maybe he had 2 receptions or something, 13 yards.
They have no run game. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, their run game is pretty depleted.
They have no run game. Like Devin Singletary, like I don't even remember the last time I've seen that man get over 100. Granted, this game he averaged 4.5 yards a carry, but they had to throw this game because they were down 20-3 for a while. But they desperately need like a consistent, strong running game.
No. So I mean, again, this is like a playoff matchup. These are 2 playoff teams. Yeah. So a loss this early in the season, obviously, is tough because now it goes down in the rankings, right? If you lose to a conference team, you go down. But this is just a great game. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest game I've seen so far this year, but I mean, these are 2 great teams that we expect a lot out of. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. Even if you lose this game, if you win this game, it's not really much to say.
And that's what I'm thinking for Baltimore, right? Like, hey, it's your second loss early on in the season. Okay, yeah, you gave it up to the Dolphins, and now you had to face a tough Buffalo Bills team regardless so early on. So I'm like, I can see them still taking it far throughout the season and having a good winning record. So,
and Lamar Jackson is, pay that man his money because he deserves it. He's playing like he deserves it. Some people will get paid or want a big paycheck, but he's playing out of his mind right now. I expect to do well. I don't know. As far as the defense, we'll see them going forward as they play other great teams, other playoff potential teams. Let me see. Looking at their schedule, it doesn't get tough maybe till they play Thursday Night Football against Tampa, at Tampa. Other than that, they have Cleveland, the Giants, Cincinnati. These are all games they should win, so Baltimore should bounce back in the next 3 weeks, and we'll see how they play against Tampa Bay going forward.
Facts.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's go to the next game. Another big game everybody was looking forward to. The Patriots, New England, going at Green Bay. Somehow this turned into a nail biter somehow. We had, what was it? Not Zach Jones, excuse me.
Aaron Jones?
Huh?
Wait, who are you talking about?
Mac Jones. That's what I say.
Oh, Mac Jones. Yeah, wasn't starting this game.
Yeah, I want to say Zach. I meant to say Zach Wilson. Zach whatever.
Wilson.
Anyways, yeah, Mac Jones out for the game. They have Brian Hoyer come in and play. He leaves the field. I forget what was his injury. Was it a shoulder or something? There was something wrong with him?
Yeah, he got sacked and then his shoulder was just done.
All right,
and then the third string rookie that just came in out of the fourth round of Western Kentucky. He played well. He played well. Granted, so somehow, Green Bay's defense is not good.
Ready.
He played well.
New England goes into Green Bay and making it a close game. Obviously, they don't win, but I don't know, Julian. I'll start with you. Like, did you see any part of this game? What were your takeaways? Why was it so close? Is Aaron Rodgers really that good, or is he overrated?
I think this is probably the best offense we've seen Green Bay play all year. They finally got the run game going. The run game is what won them this game. I mean, Aaron Jones, 16 carries, 110 yards. A.J. Dillon, 17 carries, 73 yards. Like, ran 200 yards rushing on the ground today against a New England defense that's supposed to be pretty good at stopping the run. And they just ran all over him. Alan Lazard had a day throwing the football. Aaron Rodgers, not bad, man. Not bad. They played pretty damn well considering the weapons that they have. Aaron Rodgers had a QBR of 38, which honestly kind of makes sense. But overall, I thought this was probably the best offense we've seen from Green Bay all day, and that's not really saying much.
Yeah, not against the Patriots. I noticed now that because I have Aaron Jones on a couple of my teams, so they are splitting time between the two receivers. I think Dillon is a little bit more, not this game, but Dillon's
running backs
more productive as far as their running backs. So overall, again, I'm not overly impressed with who's their veteran? Lazard is their veteran. He had a great game, 116 yards. But
yeah, he had a good game.
I'm not overly impressed with
that Dobbs guy is starting to become into somebody.
Does he play on there? Does he do the special teams? Dobbs?
He's a rookie, and he's actually been kind of the bright spot on that offense pretty much all year. He hasn't been having super explosive game, but he's been looking really solid for Green Bay. That could be a future piece for them for sure, because he's not been playing too bad.
Amari Rodgers is a returner. But yeah, I'm not overly impressed with Green Bay. I still think, as long as Aaron Rodgers is playing, I'll give you a chance, especially in a close game where it's late where you need.
You know what their schedule's looking like the next few games?
Let me pull it up.
I got it right here.
Again, I'm not overly confident, but I feel like against certain teams, they always have a shot.
Right here, they got the Giants in London next week. So Giants, Jets, Commanders, Bills, Lions, Cowboys, Titans, Eagles, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Vikings.
Oh, they're playing Buffalo on Halloween.
Not the strongest of lineups. Lisi's next 3 weeks. You got the Giants, Jets, Commanders. Even though the Giants have been playing not bad, they're 3-1 somehow. Who knows how?
Yeah,
they are 3-1, and they're playing pretty well. Daniel Jones, Saquon's playing out of his mind. But
when he's healthy, man, that guy's good.
The return, he's gonna go off. I wish I had him this year in fantasy.
Yeah, but
the schedule's not looking too bad, like you said, right? They're finding
the worst thing.
So he has to work with the players he has, the wide receivers, running back. Well, what else he's gonna do? They're not gonna pick anybody else up. So you might as well build that chemistry. And the thing with Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if you guys noticed, whenever a player, let's say, drops a pass or anything like that, or fumbles the ball, he'll completely ignore them and just move on to the next play. He doesn't go up to them, say it's all good. No, he just won't look at them and then worry about the next play. What a savage.
Oh my God. Well, anyways, that's it going forward. I don't know if you remember, Julian, you were watching. This was one of the games that were there's only 3 games at the 4 o'clock, after the witching hour. There's only 3 games on. This was one of them. Yeah. And somehow we had a third string Patriots quarterback hanging in there against.
I was just Rodgers. Once the Jags game's over, I roll with Red Zone. I put on Red Zone, and that's the best. Dude, Red Zone is. Sorry to get off topic for a second. Red Zone is the best shit that's ever happened in sports. Red Zone is fucking awesome. I love Red Zone. And the funny thing is MLS is going to do something similar next year, so I'm actually excited for that. But Red Zone is sick. You can watch everything. You get every single play. You don't get every play. It's perfect. not every
Get the
play,
plays
but
on
like
it.
every big play. You get every big play. You see everything. It's like watching a nonstop football
Is that like
highlights.
Score Center? I don't know. I was at brunch 2 weeks ago in New York, and they had like Score Center up, and it showed highlights, all the games going on.
Score Center. What channel was that on?
I'm
It's
not
probably
sure.
like ESPN3 or some shit.
Yeah,
No,
it
yeah.
was pretty cool though because I was keeping up with my fantasy. I kept checking. I'm like, what's going on in each game, and they kept.
So
showing,
yeah,
like,
they have a fantasy zone where they specifically focus on fantasy, like
it
people
might
who
be
are playing
that.
on fantasy.
They showed everyone.
And then there's Red Zone, which Red Zone is just the
Yeah.
game. Red Zone's basically where they bounce between the games. So like, say if there's a timeout or in like a commercial, this game, it'll bounce over to the next game and watch that drive and that play. And then once that's over, it bounces over, and then it prioritizes the closer games. So like, if this game's closer and they're in the red zone and super important, they'll put you. So like, they do a really good job of making sure you're getting all the action and all the stuff you want to see. It's all, and it's nonstop until like 1 to 7. So it's like, it's sick.
Speaking of nonstop action, let's talk about a rivalry. I don't even know if it's a rivalry anymore. The Broncos going to Las Vegas. Broncos versus the Raiders. It's a classic rivalry, but I don't know now. There's a new team.
Division rival was supposed to be.
This again is one of these games. I don't know what to expect much. I think going into this game, I expected Las Vegas to pull out with it, which they eventually did 32-23. But we'll let Jojo talk about. He's the resident Broncos fan or Russell Wilson fan.
Man,
so I'll let you talk about this game.
How did I know this was going to happen to my Broncos? We had a great week last week beforehand. Every team in our division lost. Chiefs lost, Chargers lost, and the Raiders lost. And we're the only team that won, right? It was an ugly win. I think it was against the 49ers, but we got it done. And some way, somehow, I knew we are going to go in, play against the 0-3 Raiders, and just not get the job done because I don't feel confident in our offense right now. And we're really lacking an identity, like coaching identity, our offense identity. Russell Wilson is kind of lost in the mix and how to run this offense. Are we going to run the ball? Are we going to take risks and go downfield? I feel like we're just playing it safe into whoever's open close, and we don't know what's going on. Bad play calling all around. We usually rely on our defense the first few games to get the win. Did not see that against the Raiders last week. They had a game.
Boy had Josh Jacobs on his fantasy team.
So I give them, we're fumbling the ball left and right, and we just need to clean it up. We're a lot better than what we look, man. And, Russ is getting his yards. It's like when Russ has a good offensive game, the defense is shitting the bed. And then when he's playing terrible, then the defense is cleaning up. We're getting fumbles. We're getting touchdowns on defense. We're getting interceptions. So I think we're just in a complete identity crisis. We need to figure it out. But our young core, man, shout out PS2, best corner in the league right now, calling it right now.
Yeah. He had a game, bro. He played well. He was playing all day against Adams. Yep. And that guy is legit. And there's a huge size difference between Patrick Surtain and Devonta Adams. And this guy was out there. He was, defending, pass blocking, doing all the kind of shit that he needed to get the job done. And that kid is legit, like good.
Adams still had 9 catches, 101 yards. Though.
Imagine if he wasn't playing him, somebody else. Oh my! The game would have been over.
Yeah. So, Jojo, I want to ask you this because it seems like everybody wants that coach's head. I think I blame full responsibility on the coach. If a team as a whole can't get their shit together, especially with him being an offensive-minded coach, and me and Gabe talked about it last week. It's like, bro, what kind of an incompetent coach has to hire a game management coordinator?
Yeah.
Like that is your one job, not one job, but it is a very big part of a head coach is to manage the game.
Yeah, to have the big picture.
He can't handle it.
I'm getting he has to call play coordinator from this guy, man. Not
and he's not even good at that. He's not even good at that. He's just like this. This guy so far has looked like the worst coaching hire out of anybody this past year. He's looked bad.
It's showing on the field. We have a great team, man. Like we really do. We have a great defense. And our offense potential is just—he's
gone, dude.
He's just not showing it.
Unless he turns it around, I don't see how they keep him because at this rate, I don't think the Broncos make the playoffs. Definitely not winning the division.
I completely agree. And this game, really
And they
said it
should
right
be.
for me.
They should be a
They said it
playoff
right.
team and pushing.
There's no way we lost to an 0-3 Raiders who had a terrible start in our division, and we still have to go against the Chiefs and the Chargers. And Mahomes and Herbert are playing out of their minds. Like, we're not going to keep up with that offense if we can't score. Like, there's only so much our defense can do.
And to be fair to the Raiders, this is the Raiders that we expected to see. This is the Raiders that we thought they were when they're coming into the season.
That's a fact.
And it's finally like coming. It seems like maybe Josh McDaniels is finally starting to get something together, because he was another one where people were like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Like, what is he doing? The Raiders are 0-3. Their team is too good to be 0-3. Obviously, you lost Hunter Renfrow, but like Devontae Adams finally had his best game of the season so far. Josh Jacobs was a menace.
Have a fantasy day.
I had him on fantasy, 144 yards, and 2 TDs, 2 tutties. Derek Carr, he looked all right. He didn't look nothing crazy. But as a whole, I thought they looked a lot better. I still think you haven't seen the best of the Raiders with the weapons and the defense.
And I feel like we haven't seen the best of the Broncos yet. And not even close to what we should be seeing these last few games. We have 2 ugly wins. We lost against the Seahawks for whatever reason. Yeah, we know all the reasons. We spoke about this.
Smith might be good.
Smith might be good. Games, right? These divisional matchups are the ones that matter the most, right? Now we're giving the Raiders life. This is the last team that we wanted to give life, right? Right here in our division, they started off 0-3. I don't want to be counted out yet, but it's definitely going to be a battle, and we have to make the adjustments. I think Russ is going to have to really step up and take that leadership that we've seen in Seattle. Like, if the head coach is not doing his job, hey, you're next in line, brother.
The sad thing is, too, this was probably the Broncos' best offensive day.
Yeah, man, we went deep to Judy, touchdown down there.
This was his. I mean, it was kind of, but this is their best. Like, you can see that it looks like they might be heading in the right direction. Obviously, we'll see who's the Broncos got next.
Still early in the season, though, so
they play the Colts, Chargers, Jets, and Jacksonville. The next 4 games.
Oh, you're gonna take that L in London.
I got split at least 2-2 between the Chargers and Jacksonville.
I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. If the Broncos keep on playing like they're playing, like,
that's a beatable team.
That's
a beatable team.
Who did you say we have next? You said Jets?
The Colts are next Thursday.
Colts.
Thursday on
at
Amazon.
The Chargers.
Ooh.
At Chargers.
That's
at home versus the Jets, and then Jacksonville.
We got that.
And then at London against Jacksonville.
That's light work. We beat y'all with Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay.
Different team, buddy.
We beat y'all with Teddy Bridgewater.
But yeah, I think the Broncos are relying on these late game antics, right? What we know Russell Wilson for is like, he's gonna spin out of something, he's just gonna run around and make something happen. And at times you see that in the game, and like there's like nothing there, right? You don't have the talents of Lockett, of a DK Metcalf. You don't have guys that can just get open. So I wonder, as good as the receivers are, and I do like Jerry Jeudy, like him healthy, him catching the ball, he looks fast as shit. I've seen his like second breakaway speed, like when he gets out in the open, and that kid is fast as long as he can catch the ball. And
he's a good route runner.
He's pretty good as well.
I like Sutton. Sutton is probably their best receiver.
Gordon's been slacking hard.
Gordon's overhyped coming out of college. He had that crazy season with 2,000 rushing yards out of Wisconsin, and he hasn't really lived up to it. He's been an average running back at best. The one I'm really pumped to see, and I think has a lot of potential, is Javonte Williams out of the rookie this year. That guy has some speed. He's really good at catching out of the backfield. He had a bad game this game. He had just under 3 yards per carry. Not a great game, but the Raiders do have a good defensive line. But yeah, I think that guy could be good. I really like him. I think he's really good at catching out of the backfield and screens. And I think Melvin Gordon, this is going to be his last. I don't know how many years he has left. This has to be his last year.
He coughs it up a lot, man.
This has to be his last year in his contract. It's been a while. He came in with Gurley, right?
He might get cut.
I'm going to look it up.
They're going to keep him, but I'm pretty sure this is his last year because he's been in the league for a while, and he was a first rounder, I believe. So they get 4 years. Any rookie gets 4 years.
Well, bottom line for the Broncos, we got the Colts next, like Gabe stated, and we have yet to have a good game, win or loss. Every game to me has been pretty bad. We need a big game, man. Big offensive game, decent defense. and let's just
Luck
have
with
a
that coach.
feel good win. We need a feel good win because even the 2 games that we won, we don't feel good about it. We don't even feel great about it. So I'm looking forward to this next weekend. We got to turn things around.
All right. And small note, this is the last of his contract. He's on a 1 year, $2.5 million. Melvin Gordon, 1 year, $2.5 million. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. So
send him to Jags.
Looking great for Melvin Gordon. Let's talk about another game. This is probably another big game of the week. A game of shooters, a shootout. Shoot 'em up.
Super Bowl rematch.
Chiefs going into Tampa Bay. Obviously, we're coming off of Hurricane Ian. A lot of devastation. People were worried we're going to be able to play. And as soon as the hurricane passed, they announced, yes, we're going to play. Chiefs going to Tampa Bay. Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. Jojo, I'll swing it to you. How much of the game did you see? What you think about this matchup?
Didn't see too much, kind of just covered some of the highlights. I think people are overhyping the game for more what it is, just like that Super Bowl matchup, which I guess you could, passing of the torch, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes trying to build this rivalry. End of the day, Tom won. So, but no, not this game, the Super Bowl.
I was about to say, what?
No. Not that's what I'm saying. Not this game. Like you said, I mean, a shootout. Bucks have a couple losses early on, so I don't know what you guys think about that. I feel like we're not really talking about Tom this much this season. There's a lot going on with younger stars emerging, and do you think he made a mistake coming back for this last season?
Oh, Julian, that's a great question.
Okay. They're not a Super Bowl team. I'm sorry. That defense is washed. That defense is so slow. Outside of the 2 linebackers, Devin White and Levante David, they're getting killed out there. They can't get to the quarterback. They can't stop the pass. Like the secondary and the corners are just getting burned. Like they just look like that defense looks like they have just lost a step. Like they're getting killed by Kansas City, which doesn't have the most threatening receivers on the team. Nope. Your best receiver on that team is Juju Smith and Kelsey. And even then, those
Smith
two had
not even getting a lot of targets.
Yeah, he's not even.
He's not. But carry on. I know because I got him on fantasy, so I'm a little confused with that.
Juju Smith had 8 targets, 5 receptions, 46 yards. He had 8 targets, but he wasn't getting them. But I will say, Kansas City offensively, we were reaming them last week for how they played against the Colts. But they took everything that they made mistakes on last week against the Colts and fixed them this week against Tampa. Oh, because they are starting to look like the Chiefs of old. Like Patrick Mahomes, he's another one that's just playing. Like watching him play that game Sunday night literally reminded me of 2019 and 2018. Like he was just his improvisation and everything was so good. Andy Reid's play calling was immaculate that game. I mean, they are looking good, even though they don't have, you're missing your big deep ball threat that you had all those years, Tyreek Hill. They look good. I think defensively, they're still worrisome.
Yeah, for sure.
But offensively, they just proved that they could still put up points. They can still do it. Patrick Mahomes still got it. The thing is, if you got the play calling, it don't matter who's out there. They're going to make plays.
Catch the ball. I mean, just do your job. We'll get it to you.
Catch the ball. You can scheme guys open, and that's what that Andy Reid system's so good about, scheming guys open. They just know how to just make guys open.
Yeah, I think the thing for me this game was KC came out hot. There was a bad fumble, right? A kickoff. They were able to score right away. They were able to get a fumble, and KC was able to score. I think they went down almost 14 points. Maybe the first 2 scores were from Kansas City. And I think Kansas City just ran away with this game. Maybe in the third quarter, the beginning of the third quarter, Tampa Bay looked like they were, trying to mount a comeback. But this game was all KC from the beginning, from front to start. You see Julian talked about the improvisation. Patrick Mahomes was being Patrick Mahomes out there, running around, spinning, making shit happen.
Crazy. Man, those flick tosses were insane. That one to I forgot who it was in the end zone.
And he knew right where the line of scrimmage was. He knew exactly where it was, stopped on a dime and said, "Swoop."
Yeah.
Little float in there.
It was a pretty dominant game. I I expect it to be a lot closer. I didn't expect a shootout, but I expect it to be maybe 30-20 something, 30-27 or something. But obviously, like I said, I think KC came out on fire. They capitalized on mistakes that Tampa Bay made. But also shout out to Tampa Bay. Like you saw Mike Evans coming back off a week. He got suspended for fighting against New Orleans or something. He came back.
Yeah.
He had had some big catches in big spots. Godwin also had a couple of nice little catches. So Fournette actually had a pretty decent game.
Fournette had a terrible game. What are you talking about?
Offensively, 7 for 57, catching.
Bro, he had -3 rushing yards.
Passing in the passing game.
Tampa,
but Tampa, when you're playing from behind,
they were down. Yeah,
when you're playing from behind, you're doing all passing.
Oh yeah, they only rushed the ball 6 times, but obviously, you're down early. You got to catch up.
So, Tom, lots of problems going on with Tom that just came out. Tom is going through it. I don't know. Julian, I don't know if you even asked the question. Did he make a mistake coming back this season? Like, do you think that was a mistake for him coming back? You think that
it depends what he deems as success. I think in Tom Brady's mind, success is going to the Super Bowl and winning it. That's not going to happen. Not with this team. I'm sorry, just not with this team.
Yep.
Which offensively, they're still solid, but defensively, they have lost a step. They really have. What are their scores the past few games? Well, defensively, they've been not too bad, but you also played the Cowboys, Saints, and Packers.
No.
3 offenses that aren't the greatest. And then you see who they played in Kansas City, who has a really good offense and knows how to scheme and play call. They got blown out. I don't think they win a Super Bowl. Like so therefore, I think it's a failure. I don't think it's a success. Or what was it that you regret?
Did he make a mistake coming back?
Did he make a mistake? Yeah,
that's right.
If in his mind he thinks he's going to win the Super Bowl, then it was a mistake because there's no way that you're going to. Unless they turn around, it's still week 4.
Listen, that's the only time
they're 2-2.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
He's 2-2 right now. You're probably going to win the division. The division's not great. You have a shot. But they're not beating the Eagles. That Eagles offense is going to destroy that defense. They're going to just eat them up. There's no way.
Well, that's the weird thing. And like with Tom Brady, like, you go to Tampa, you win the championship, you go back next year, maybe you go deep in the playoffs, but obviously you don't win the whole thing. Maybe, you could have went out on top the first year you won the Super Bowl. Maybe last year you announced that you're going to leave.
Yep.
Then you went for like 6 days and you came back. You're like, oh, no, I'm coming back. And, now this is the team you're with. I still think, Tampa's a good team. I don't predict him to be in the Super Bowl, like Julian said, but I think it's fine. He's a competitor.
Remember that Tom doesn't really need a great team to get it done, I feel like. I think he can manage some way, somehow. Once you make the playoffs, anything can happen, right? Obviously, we're still going to look at the little things, calling out that defense, right? They're going to have to make changes if they want to get some more wins under their belt. But like I said before, it's Super Bowl or bust. Anything below that is like, why did I even come back?
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the last game. A game from last night. Monday Night Football. Rams at 49ers. A lot of hype. It's a California team. California teams against each other. LA Rams in San Francisco playing forward. Julian, I'll go to you. What were your expectations going towards this game? Was this in your mind, a good game heading into was this a Monday Night Football worthy game to have on prime time?
No, it's definitely worth it. This is a rivalry that's just been running deep these past few years. It's been every game has been super close. I would say generally the 49ers has had the Rams number. The 49ers have been beating the Rams left and right outside of the NFC Championship game last year. But the Niners did beat them that final game of the week to get them into the playoffs. That's why I had the Niners to win and go to the Super Bowl. But man, that offensively, they Los Angeles, they couldn't do enough to stop to score points.
Terrible. It was terrible. Let's talk about Stafford's performance, bro.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
times he had 0 touchdowns, interception. He's on my fantasy, hence why I was watching. But
They couldn't finish. Yeah.
Remember that stat where Julian said Indianapolis, it was like 0 for 7 in Jacksonville throughout the regular season. We have a very similar stat, whereas LA cannot win in San Francisco. They have not won the last 6 or 7 seasons where the 49ers play during the regular.
But they're a Super Bowl team, though.
Yeah,
they're Super Bowl champs.
But we're talking about the game, yesterday's game specifically.
They were the Super Bowl champs.
The odds were against them regardless going into that stadium. And then I'm like, damn, 49ers turning up at home against LA. It's crazy. Deebo Samuel went off. Whereas Kelsey, almost had that touchdown. Didn't really have a lot of action. He had 0 targets in the first half, which was crazy. So I was like, I'm wondering like where this game is going. Super low scoring in the beginning. But yeah, just shout out the 49ers defense. Really locked it down.
Yeah, I think the name of this game was
Cooper still had 14 receptions, 122 yards, but no TDs. And 19 targets.
He was their main their main guy, the only guy to look for. I mean, I think they had some other. Higbee had a couple.
Higbee had 14 targets,
and then
14 targets, 10 touches, 10 receptions.
What's the name of that guy? Skronek.
I mean, he had 2 catches, only 3 targets. But really, it looks like he was only going towards Kupp and Higbee. I mean, 19 targets and then 14 targets for Higbee. That's a lot.
Yeah,
I ain't really spreading the wealth.
I think the name of this game was like the Rams couldn't finish in the red zone. When they got close, they couldn't close it out. They had to settle for field goals. And on defense, the Rams give up big plays. They give up that big run to Wilson. They give up they had 2, on that Deebo Samuel touchdown.
That was
2 bad tackles.
Ramsey jumped the play. And I wonder if Jimmy G, I don't know if you guys remember the play, if he threw it high on purpose because of the coverage, or that was just pure luck.
I think he threw it high on purpose. And he's a professional. As much as I want to shit on Jimmy G, he actually had
they still know,
a decent game. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's the world's greatest quarterback, top 3, but he had a decent game. He looked decent.
He had a QBR of 47.
If he didn't throw his chest level, that's a pick 6, bro, going the other way.
I'm not talking about decent game. I'm talking about just moving the ball forward, being productive.
Game manager.
Yeah, game. I mean, I thought he was a little bit more than a game manager, but he had fine. It was decent. And like I said, the Rams, they just couldn't score. They got close, like 3-4 times, and they couldn't score in the red zone. And you know what I mean? You give up a couple of big plays, and you get that point separation. I expected the Rams to win this game, but I think it'll get better. We're still in week 4.
The Rams have no run game either. Cam Akers he's done. He's done. Like Cam Akers ain't doing shit. Brandon Powell 1 carry, like Darrell Henderson, like that. They need a stronger run game. And like what you're saying with the red zone, I feel like they have not utilized Allen Robinson to his potential. That guy is a jump ball master. That's where his bread and butter is on the jump ball. They tried
going to him in the end zone that one play. He just overthrew him. That was like the first time I see him go for it in the end zone. I'm like, is anyone else going to get the ball besides Cooper Kupp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 players he was throwing to.
So shout out to the Rams. Let's go into if you want to go into week 5, you really want to pull it up. Let's do our week 5 predictions. We got all the boys together. Let's get our predictions going forward. I haven't even looked at the schedule, so I don't even know what the games are looking forward to this week. But I know we have Thursday Night Football. I think we already talked about it, right? There's a Thursday night like Colts. Is it Colts, Jags, or who's playing this week?
No,
Broncos.
Colts, Broncos.
Bro, I'm tired of these prime time. I'm not even excited anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this game.
I'm not even excited. Like, can we get a good win, please?
Well, Thursday nights are like those like that everybody has to have a primetime game, and that's like all the shitters get their primetime game on Thursday night.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull this up.
You don't have it? I got it pulled up if you want me to show it.
There we go. I got it. I refreshed it. Okay.
All right, so let's get our weekly predictions. We'll talk about what we have going forward in the week. I guess we'll start with Jojo. We'll start with your prediction. I guess Julian announce it first, give us the odds, and then Jojo will give your prediction first. You want the fresh and hottest takes.
All right. Indianapolis +3 at Denver -3. Denver, the favorites. The line is leaning towards Denver to get the cover with the -3, and that is my pick as well.
All right. Denver's winning, and we're gonna cover.
Wow. So you got to win him by like at least 2 field goals.
Indy sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Indy's terrible.
So
I'm gonna go. Man, the Broncos need to win bad, and they need to win good. But you know what? Man, I think the Broncos win. Man, I gave the Colts cover. Give me the Colts.
wow.
Colts, give me the Colts.
Interesting. All right, next game, we got the New York Giants at the Green Bay Packers. Packers are the favorite with a -8.5 to the New York Giants +8.5 with the line dead even. All the bets are going dead even at -1.
Listen, I think they did this last week, but they gave like the Packers like 9.5 points. So they're giving the Packers a lot of points for no reason.
Yeah, I'm like, their offense isn't that great. It's decent. Yeah. It's okay.
And the Giants are competitive. I mean, they got a better record. The Giants are 3-1, and give me the Giants to
cover the points
on the spread. I think Green Bay doesn't cover. I'll take the Giants on the spread.
Yeah, I'll take the Giants to cover as well. I mean, that's a lot of points.
I'm gonna go with the Giants as well.
But Packers win.
Giants will cover. But I'm going Giants.
Well, Giants in the spread. Only the favorite can cover.
Going Giants win.
Seattle Seahawks at New Orleans Saints. New Orleans is the favorite at -5.5 versus the Seahawks +5.5. You're at New Orleans.
Man.
I'm taking New Orleans. I think New Orleans has a top-tier defense. They are very good defensively. Yeah, Geno Smith was balling, but look at the teams he's playing against. Detroit doesn't know how to stop a fly. New Orleans is an actually really good defense, and Andy Dalton's in there, and he didn't have too bad of a game, even though they lost to the Vikings. In London.
Yeah,
in London. I like New Orleans at home with the cover. I think they can win by a TD. I think the Seahawks are frauds.
Oh man,
frauds.
Give me the Seahawks to win straight out, man. You know what?
Wow.
I believe in a Cinderella team. I'm going opposite this week. I've always gone with you, Julian. You and I pretty much think alike. But you know what? Give me the underdog. Give me the Seahawks.
Gabe's saying get the money line, which is +194. So you can almost double your money if you bet with Gabe.
Bet the underdog. Jojo, who you got?
You know what? I'm feeling risky, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with Gabe on that one.
Wow.
To win straight up. Wow.
Let's do it.
All right. Next game, Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Buffalo is the favorite, -14 to Pittsburgh's +14.
Pittsburgh just lost to the Jets, bro. I didn't want to hear it on this week.
The line is the money's going right down the middle, 50-50. They're both -110 on the odds for those spreads.
No, they also
I don't like big spreads. I hate big spreads.
That's a lot of points.
I understand you're at Buffalo. I understand Pittsburgh's probably going to start a rookie quarterback.
Yes, that's another thing.
I don't like 14-point spreads. Give me Pittsburgh
to cover spread
to get within the spread. I think the Bills don't.
Yeah, I've seen Josh Allen played 2 bad weeks. Not he's not the greatest. He's not playing MVP season so far as I predicted as Las Vegas.
I mean, outside of that first game, have the Bills blown anybody out other than that?
Not really
against the Rams.
So I'll take Pittsburgh Steelers to cover. The Bills win, but they don't.
No shot. Bounce back game for Josh Allen. He's putting up 50 points, and they're going to smoke Pittsburgh against their defense. You got a rookie quarterback, and you're at home. Bills got that.
You got that easy? All right.
Yeah,
unless
win by 16, 17 points.
TJ Watt can be a difference maker.
Bro, they just lost.
Wait, is he back?
I don't want to hear it.
I don't know. He was packing a lot of stuff at the line. All right.
We
got next.
Chicago Bears at Minnesota. Minnesota is the favorite, -7 with the Bears +7. The money is going right down the middle, 50-50 at -1.
Minnesota's been playing pretty good.
Give me the Vikings easy. Easy Vikings. Even though it's -7, I would like that 6.5 differential, but give me the Vikings. They win by 10 points.
That's what's killing me. But man, the Bears have been able to.
Bears are not.
Bears are two. They're 2-2. The offense is atrocious, but their defense has been able to keep them in games, and that's what worries me.
And you're such a pro Vikings, pro Jefferson.
I think Vikings win the game. If it was 6.5, I'll take the Vikings. That 7 is annoying.
You scared of a half point, man?
Give me the Vikings. The Vikings. It's just that Bears defense. They've been able to hold people really good.
Nah, I think the Bears are absolutely garbage this year.
But you are at Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 2-2.
I'm going Minnesota on this one.
All right.
All right. Next game, we got Houston at Jacksonville. Jacksonville, the favorites, -7. Houston +7. And the money is going towards Jacksonville with the -115.
I'm not used to seeing so many games go for Jacksonville. This is weird. It's a weird season for me.
Yeah.
I'm taking Jags to cover. Houston's terrible, and we're back. And you're finally back home in Duval after 2 long road games. Houston's no chance.
I could see that, to be honest. Texans, not the greatest team this season. Jags have been proving it, and they had 2 tough road games. They're back at home. Their last home game was against the Colts, right?
Yeah, shut them out.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I got to take Jags on this one.
I'll take the Jags. I don't like the 7 points. I think it's going to be a closer game. I should take Texans to cover, but I'll take the Jags just to win it outright. You know what? T-Law's not that bad. They'll bounce back this week.
He's looking all right. They're looking all right this season.
All right. We got Miami at New York. New York Jets, that is. Wow. Miami favorites -3.5 versus New York Jets +3.5, -115 towards the Jets on the odds. The line is leading towards the Jets to get within 3.5. Miami with no Tua. Who knows when he comes back?
He's out for this week. He's out this week.
I know. I'm saying who knows when he comes back, if he comes back at all this season.
Listen, he's not the worst player in the world, Gabe. I had him last season. So put your trust in Teddy.
Teddy Two Gloves. Give me the Jets. I think the Jets win this game outright.
Wow.
Outright?
I don't trust Teddy Two Gloves. Zach Wilson is playing pretty damn well. And honestly, the Jets have a good offense. Now that Zach Wilson's back, I mean, they have the weapons that are there. The defense can hold their own, and you're in New York. I'll take the Jets. I think the Jets win outright. I like those odds too, plus 148 on the money line.
Man,
I need to hear this from Gabe first.
With two in the game, I got the Dolphins winning easy. Without Tua, Teddy Bridgewater, a full game of Teddy Bridgewater against the Jets.
Mind you, too, Dolphins have allowed a lot of yards. Dolphins have allowed – the defense has not been great.
I think the Jets they're a better team. They're not as sorry as they've been in the past.
I meant to say Dolphins. If I said Jets, I meant to say the Dolphins defense.
Jets are an improved team. I think they're not as bad as possible. Like I said, I would have picked the Dolphins with Tua easy. I think the Dolphins win, but they don't win by four or more points. So I think the Jets will cover.
Taking the Jets.
There you go.
I got the Dolphins winning.
Listen, I was going to say, if you don't have the Dolphins winning, then I don't know what to say to you.
I got the Dolphins winning, but they're not going to win by four or more points.
They can't beat the Jets without Tua.
They're gonna skate by the teeth.
Looking like
by the teeth.
I'm gonna go with Gabe. Closer than you think, but the Dolphins are gonna get the win.
So we all got Jets. I just got Jets on the money line as well. Okay, next game: Atlanta at Tampa. Tampa's the favorites, -8.5 to Falcons, +8.5. It's 50-50 on where the money's going. It's odds of -110 for both.
Oh, give me the Bucks easy.
Yep.
The Falcons are garbage. The garbage teams this year are like the Bears, the Falcons, and like Houston. Those are like the three.
Bro, the Bears are 2-2. You're hating on the Bears. The Bears are 2-1.
Okay, actually, Super Bowl champs. That's what you got?
No, I'm just saying their defense can keep them in games. I think Justin Fields has not been playing well, but I also think they got not a very good coach either. That was going to help them. So,
wow.
Well,
I'm agreeing with you.
I guess I'll take Tampa too. I think Tampa could probably win by 10. All right, next game. Whew, here comes a smoke show. Detroit Lions at the New England Patriots. Patriots are the favorites, -3.
Wow.
Detroit Lions +3, and it is right in the middle when it comes to the odds, -110 for both.
Give me the Lions. I love me.
Some kneecaps.
Yeah, I love some kneecaps. The Lions are better than they expected. They had a shootout with Seattle. Give me the Lions. I don't think the Patriots are as good as what people think.
Man, at New England.
Wow.
Zappy.
And it,
You believe in Zappy?
third string quarterback. Give me Detroit. I think Detroit. I'll take Detroit with the money line. I think Detroit wins this game outright. Let them get a dub.
Well, I'm gonna have to go New England.
Wow. Look at that.
Third string.
So they're gonna win they have to win 4 points or more. So at least two field goals at least.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They dropped
Detroit might not win, but they get within 3.
Wait,
What'd
hold
you
on.
say?
I said New England dropped to a third string quarterback.
Yeah, they're on a third string quarterback, a rookie third string
I don't know.
quarterback.
If Brian Hoyer comes back, I don't know what his status is, but so
I don't
far
know.
he was
I don't
knocked
know
out of the
if
game.
Yeah, I didn't know that important.
And even then, I'm still not a believer.
They
in
never
Brian
really
Hoyer.
through the ball in the first place. Yeah, I mean,
No, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to switch up real quick and go Detroit on that one.
Jared Goff,
right.
MVP. All right. We got the
Also,
Tennessee Titans.
I have the Detroit wide receiver St. Brown, so he's been performing pretty well.
All right, we got Tennessee Titans at Washington Commanders. Tennessee is the favorites, -2.5 to Washington Commanders +2.5.
Sakaka
And
game.
the money is going more
So
towards
Commanders
going
look
more
like a
towards
college
Titans.
team.
I'll take the Titans.
I'll take the Titans. I don't want to talk about this game.
I saw Washington play last game. It was just so bad. Was it against the Eagles? They played the Eagles.
Boy,
Right?
No.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
that
no,
was a week before last.
Week before I saw. Okay, yeah. What did they
No,
do?
they lost it. They got smoked. They got smoked by Cooper Rush and them boys. Dallas.
Oh, it was Dallas. Yep, it was Dallas.
Yeah.
I think we're all Titans. I don't care about this game. It's garbage.
Yeah. All right. We got Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. Chargers are -3 and Cleveland Browns +3, with more money going towards the Browns to get within 3, which is actually kind of interesting. I'll take the Chargers to win.
Not happening. They're gonna win.
I think the Chargers win by a tutty.
Yeah.
Sure.
Chargers
I'm
win
really
by 10.
surprised. I'm really surprised how much money is going towards the Browns.
And by the way, Herbert, I don't know.
Still hurt.
He's
I will
the
say this: the Chargers as a whole are still severely banged up. Like Joey Bosa's hurt.
Week 4.
Herbert
Joey
is
Bosa's
still
hurt.
He's still averaging 3 touchdowns a game, which is ridiculous.
Herbert has it's missing a rib. Rashawn Slater, the best left tackle in the league, is out for the season. You're still missing.
Is Eckler playing?
Yes, but
he's been playing. Yeah, I think he had some highlights last week.
But it was Houston.
Yeah. But it's the Browns. I mean, is that much different?
Yeah.
Browns are a good team, though. I think that's why it's a lot closer than it is.
Offensively, they have.
Nah, Chargers easy. I think we're Chargers all the way. What's next?
Okay. All right, San Francisco at Carolina. San Francisco's the favorite with -6.5. Carolina +6.5. The line is dead. The odds are dead even.
Man.
Give me Carolina to get within the points. I think San Francisco doesn't cover because San Francisco, outside of last night, they can't score for shit outside of last night. So to expect them to get a big spread like that, no. Give me the Panthers spread. But
I think that's
Niners
why
do
they
win.
got the big spread because of their performance. But
Yeah.
I mean, Panthers, can they put up the offense though against that defense?
McCaffrey's doing pretty well.
He
Jojo
had a breakout game last game. Finally,
Baker Mayfield's done. He's done.
I think he's done. This is his last hurrah, last dance.
Bro, if
Baker
they don't
Mayfield.
want to win, I don't know. Carolina's going to be what, 1-4?
Give me the 49ers. I got 49ers just winning
Really?
outright.
I just don't think 49ers
points.
can score. That's my problem. They can't fucking outside of last night.
Give me the Debo, baby.
They didn't even give the ball to Kittle, so imagine working him in as well. And they've been running the ball. I mean, I think there's potential there against the Panthers
So
specifically.
who do you got, Jojo?
49ers.
Niners.
And
Okay,
they, yep.
Eagles at Arizona. Eagles are the favorites, -5.5. Arizona +5.5. It's a bird war. A bird war.
The bird war.
Eagles. Easy.
Arizona's
Eagles,
been very underwhelming this year. Like I expected.
Yeah, this is weird to see. It really
I expected
is.
them to be.
Kyler Murray hype kind of died. Why does this always happen when someone gets paid?
Paid because they relax, man. They relax. They're like, oh, I got the money. That's all I got. Aaron Rodgers.
I was saying that, but I was saying that from the jump. Kyler Murray has not made the playoff or hasn't won a playoff game, but yet he's getting paid buku fucking dollars and hasn't won a playoff game in how many years? 4 years, and he's not making the playoffs this year. So, give me the Eagles. The Eagles are they're good, dude. Even though more money's going towards the Arizona, I like the Eagles.
Hilarious.
The Eagles win that game.
I'm gonna have to agree.
And cover the 5.5.
I'm gonna have to agree. Yeah, Philly's looking like one of the best teams in the league right now, and Arizona. They had
you want to talk about MVP status? Jalen Hurts has been.
Oh, all right. No, don't get too ahead of yourself. Listen.
Are you kidding me? Jalen Hurts has been playing out of his mind.
Somebody MVP though, not MVP.
Who else?
Lamar Jackson.
It's between them two.
Josh Allen.
No, he's been playing better than Josh Allen.
Most important.
Eagles have the number 1 offense in the league right now.
All right, let's see if it can continue. Let's see.
And has better weapons than Lamar Jackson and a better line.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys at Los Angeles Rams.
Bro, I don't even know.
You got a QB, according to Jerry Jones, you got a QB controversy going on in Dallas. Dallas plus 4.5, Los Angeles minus 4.5. I think Los Angeles bounced back and win this game by a tutty. I'm not sure. Is Dak coming back this week? When is he supposed to come back?
Let me look that up while Jojo discusses.
Because that determines a lot for me. If Cooper Rush is playing us,
I mean, listen, they've been winning without Dak, so if it's not broken, don't fix it.
He will not play. As an hour ago, he will not play. Dak Prescott will not play against Los Angeles.
Listen, man, I feel like this backup quarterback hasn't even had to make crazy adjustments to their scheming.
Bro, he played the Commanders. He played who else did he? Who's the week? What are the Cowboys like? Who are they beating?
All right. Well, listen,
I don't know. I just know they beat the Commanders, which is
the Rams' defense isn't all that, and we saw it yesterday. So
it should be.
You know what I mean? If Dallas could drop some points on I don't know, maybe LA has a bounce back game offensively.
You got the Cowboys record?
Yes, I'm looking it up. The Cowboys lost to Tampa Bay in week 1. They beat Cincinnati 2017. They beat the New York Giants at New York 23-16. They beat the Commanders 25-10.
3-1. 3-1. I don't want to be a believer, but
Jojo's a delusional Cowboy fan. He's gonna say they're going to the Super Bowl. Cooper Rush.
Listen,
Cooper Rush is Hall of Fame quarterback.
They're out here winning games.
No, yeah.
With the backup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
he's
even
playing
if that
well.
is in, it's not guaranteed.
I still take the Rams -4 though, -4.5.
I said that whole spiel, and I'm still gonna go with the LA Rams.
Wow, you know what? I'm going opposite y'all. I'm going to Cowboys. Don't be surprised if the Cowboys just win straight out.
Gabe loves his backup quarterbacks.
Listen,
loves them.
I hate the Cowboys, but there's a game to win against the weak Rams. Right. It's this week.
Any game with Baltimore is going to be a shootout, and this one's probably going to be one as well. Cincinnati at Baltimore, NFC North matchup. Baltimore -3 as the favorite, Cincinnati +3 as the dog.
Yo, shout out
Ravens.
Going to Baltimore.
Ravens easy.
I think since he's starting to get back into a groove of things,
they
seem to be. And Baltimore, like we were talking about earlier, they can allow a lot of points. And with that offense that Cincinnati has, they still have obviously a really rough offensive line, but the defensive line at Baltimore hasn't been super strong either. So, but with all that being said, I think I'm still going to take the Ravens -3.
I'm taking the Ravens.
I feel like how many home games do they have? I feel like they've been playing straight home games for 4 weeks in a row.
And it's going to be rough. Let's see what the weather's like on Sunday. Jojo, who you got?
That's a Sunday night game, by the way.
I don't know if you guys know, but the Bengals offensive line has been stepping up because your boy Joe Burrow has only been sacked 3 times in the last 2 games.
21 in the first 4 weeks or whatever, 3 weeks. But go ahead.
Yo, I mean, that's a big improvement.
And one game.
Regardless, I'm going with Baltimore at home. So, I just had to throw that out there.
All right.
So you guys know.
What's next?
The final game of the week, Monday Night Football, Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is the favorites with the -7.5. Las Vegas +7.5. The odds are right down the middle at -110. Give me the Raiders.
You know what? I'm leaning on that side because first off, fuck the Chiefs.
I don't think they win, but they get within the spread.
Division. I'm over them. So we need tough losses against the Chiefs and Chargers. Raiders already have a good amount of losses. Division matchup. They beat us. You know what I'm saying? So build on that against the dominant Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Raiders, pull the upset.
I don't think Raiders win. I just think they get. I think Raiders can at least get 7. They can at least lose by 7. That 7.5 is what's hurting you.
That Chiefs
6.5, I might do Chiefs.
Man, the Chiefs defense, I'm not a believer in, but Patrick Mahomes, I am a believer in. Let me get. This is a disastrous bet. You should never bet the Chiefs over. I'm gonna bet the Chiefs over this week, man.
Yeah,
Give me the Chiefs to win by 10 points. They're gonna win by 10 points, at least 9 or 10 points. Give them Chiefs.
Like we need to get an audio thing just says like frauds, like because I love just hit that like mid show fraud. We need to get one of those, but that's it for Gabe. Actually, real quick before we move on, was there any what was the record last week between me and you? Do you have it? Please tell me.
I do have it. You won. I pulled it up.
And what's the total? Obviously.
The total right now is 12 and 13. So you have 12 right. I have 13 right. Jojo, I have to figure out yours. You had 5 right, but you didn't pick last week. So
okay, at the end of the season, we'll do whoever's here.
Yeah,
we'll combine all the weeks that all 3 of us were there. So, what was it for this week? What was it for this past week between me and you?
Let me see. You had 6 games. You had 6 games. I have 5 games this week too. Actually, wait.
Again.
2, 4, 6, 8. I had 8 games this week. You had 6 games.
Oh, damn! You had 8. Damn, Gabe.
Yeah, man. So
I'm excited for a second.
I mean, whatever.
I mean, I'm back-to-back 6, and that's I think 6 is not bad.
Pretty 12 and 13, still close. We're right there in the middle. Like I said, me and Julian usually agree a lot on these fucking games. So, let's end it on some baseball, some MLB news because you were traveling. Obviously, I guess we had Hurricane Ian came through. Jojo was out of town. He went to New York. He went to actually a couple games, which is why we're in his jersey right now. So tell us about your New York experience because we're heading into the MLB season, into the playoffs, into wild card, and let's tell us about how New York was for you.
Yeah, man, it was pretty dope. I was in New York last week. I was able to attend 2 games right there in the Bronx against our heated rivals, Red Sox. Fuck Boston. Had to throw that in there. Anyways, we had the 4-game sweep against them. I was able to go to the game on Friday where we were all cheering for Aaron Judge to hit that home run 61, which he did not do. To be fair, I believe they pitched to him. I think they only walked him once or twice, but they were not intentional walks. He's just good, man. Like most of the walks he's been getting recently, aside from that Orioles series, have been from full counts. So he's working a count. He's protecting the strike zone. He's just playing very smart. He's not even being overly eager and trying to get that home run. So again, we got the 4-game sweep. That Sunday game did get rained out. We got the win. It was a crazy rain delay. That was insane. The game actually got canceled. End of the 6th inning. Never seen anything like that. I know we're spoiled here in Miami. We have the dome because hence it always rains here in Miami. Yeah. But that was wild. We saw lightning, and they were actually playing the Broncos game on there, which is pretty dope. And we got the win. I think it was against the 49ers when we played them. Bottom line, he didn't get that home run 60.
49ers?
It was the 49ers last Sunday, when I was in New York.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about baseball. I was really
No, yeah, they were playing the Bronco game. If you were listening to the story on the screen during the win delay.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's lost in the sauce right now. So I was there chilling, watching the Broncos win, which was pretty cool. And we got smoked in that rain, by the way. It was ridiculous. So no, I didn't become rich, right? He didn't hit the home run 61 when I was there, and I was able to attend 2 games. So that was unfortunate. But he did end up getting 61 against Toronto. Now he just has to break the record, and I believe I don't know how many games are left.
It's like 2 or 3 more games left. It's not that many games.
There might be like 2 games left. I think we're playing Texas right now, or the game might be over while we're recording here. But yeah, man, we're looking for a deep postseason run. We're getting important players back. You got Stanton hitting home runs. Obviously, Judge is doing his thing. He's leading off the pack. We got DJ LeMahieu coming back. We have Anthony Rizzo, who's back in our lineup, who also has a few hits and home runs. Our pitching's there. Severino last night pitched 7 innings with a shutout. He kind of got upset. He got pulled a little early, but that's fine, right? We don't want to risk any injuries. So that's what we're looking at with the Yankees. So I don't know what you got going on, Gabe.
Yeah.
This full season picture. We got some predictions.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. Who do you think who would you want to face in a matchup against, obviously, Tampa versus Cleveland? What team do you want to face the most? Or, I mean, obviously, it being the same division, the Yankees being the same division as Tampa Bay, that's a pretty known rival, in-division rival. Yeah. Who are you looking forward to? Like, what do you think of the playoff picture? Do the Yankees go all the way for the World Series?
Well, I think Tampa has been pretty good in the last few seasons in the playoffs. They have great pitching depth. That's what they're known for. They have a lot of relievers. Their offense shines when it needs to. They have great base stealing. They have great hitters, like just the overall package. So I actually don't want to see them in a series. I'd rather see Cleveland challenge them. And we've been on top for most of the season. So we started off hot. The Yankees were number 1, which is why we had such a big lead over Tampa and Toronto. So we didn't have to deal with what we dealt with the last 2 seasons, trying to play catch up to Tampa winning the division. So I definitely rather see Cleveland. And I know the biggest worries as a Yankee fan is the next series. The only series we're really worried about is playing Houston. So I'm actually hoping that either Seattle or Toronto takes out Houston in that second round of the playoffs over there. Also, shout out Seattle.
Yeah, they just finally made a playoff, like
after
whatever
21 seasons.
Yeah. So I mean,
actually, I did want to ask something because, like, I haven't really been keeping up with this season, but I know that weren't the Angels like number 1 in their like?
No, it's been terrible.
What was that? What was that thing
years.
where it was like both LA teams are in first?
That was like the first 2 weeks of the season.
Oh,
right?
was it? Okay.
Yeah. So New York, both New York teams. So the Yankees were number 1 in their division. The Mets were number 1 in their division. Angels were number 1 at one point for like 3 days. Then it's gone.
They've been.
I just assumed that they were just playing well. Yeah,
not at
Angels
all.
are a historically terrible team.
Yeah, and what if they could have got? What if they could have got all? Well, probably not. I was going to say. What if they got
I actually feel bad for that fan base. You got one of the best players in history, Mike Trout.
2 of the best players.
And now Ohtani, who's doing things we haven't seen in ever. Pitching and hitting.
They're like the Marlins of the West, if you think about it.
It's ridiculous. And he just extended his contract as well. Yeah. So they're going to have him.
Imagine if you got all 3 dual city teams like in a playoffs. That'd be wild.
Well, that's what we're looking at here. So that's for the American League.
Yeah.
Who do you have coming out of the National League?
National League, I think LA is still a favorite. They're a favorite for a reason. Obviously, they spent money. So I'm actually excited for this Mets Padres series that could possibly come up. That looks exciting. Who's going to come out of the Houston? I think, honestly, the Blue Jays will probably beat the Mariners as, successful season they had. I think the Blue Jays are just a powerhouse, and they're going to come out of there. So,
and that is the wild card. So that is a 1-game playoff.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Julian.
So all hands on deck.
Weren't they talking about changing it recently, or did they change?
Yeah, well, I think they're going to have like a 3-game series, but they don't travel. 3 games, but they don't travel or some shit.
That's what's this year, right? It's gonna be this year.
I have to double check on that.
I remember they changed. They changed the wild card.
I could be wrong. They could start this season.
That's what I'm saying because I remember there being.
Because I think the Mets, they're not going to travel. I think the Mets have home field, and they're not going to travel to San Diego. They're not going like West Coast and then come back to the East Coast. I think they're staying in New York to play 3 games series.
Wait, now that you mentioned the Mets, man, holy shit! And I'm rooting for them. They shit the bed this last series against Atlanta.
They always shit the bed.
Gave up the division like everyone called, and I'm actually very disappointed. And now they're in a wild card spot when they had the division.
They were number 1 for a while.
for the majority of the season. And then, of course, the last series against Atlanta, which Atlanta's been doing the last few seasons, they creep. And then they make a deep playoff run, which is amazing.
They go back to back.
No.
Could now. Who knows?
I mean, it's a fighter's chance, puncher's chance, right? But I don't think Atlanta's a favorite going forward, like the playoffs.
I mean, now that I'm actually looking at this playoff picture, with them winning the division and what they're going to face the winner of the Phillies or St. Louis, which St. Louis,
St. Louis on a streak.
They've been playing pretty good, but Atlanta in the last few years have been dominating in the playoffs. I think they still have the edge. They have the experience as well, and they found a way to get back on top. Now, on the other side, LA, we know they're destroying the competition. They have over 100 wins. They're going to face, a San Diego team without Tatis, or the Mets, which I think the Mets will come out on top, and that'll be a good matchup, New York versus LA. But I think LA is the best team in the National League.
Yeah. I think so. I'm going to stick with the favorites. I'm hoping for finally a Yankees-LA matchup from like 3 years ago that they should have had. But I mean, we'll see.
You don't want a Subway Series, World Series?
Hey, we could have that too. There's an opportunity there. I
mean, if you believe in the Mets that much, you haven't been watching the game. So
they have a really good team. That's why I'm upset that they gave up, the division title. Yeah. Like, they played very well this whole season.
Can you imagine the shit talking in New York with a World Series?
You know how much money will be generated in New York if they both made the World Series?
No travel either.
Yeah. I think it's best for baseball if you have like an East Coast, West Coast team. Like, it's a classic.
Yeah.
You like have LA, New York. That's a good.
The furthest you have to travel is to take the D train to Yankee Stadium or the 7 train to Citi Field.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would, like, obviously we're talking about hypothetical, like, I wonder if they would like limit the amount of like away fans. Like, I don't know, like.
No, they don't.
You gotta reserve it for
the money they have. Come on.
Like, you reserve. Well, no, it's going to sell out either way. But like, do you reserve for the Mets fans? Because obviously, Met fans are going to show up.
No, I think they're going to take money wherever they can get it.
You're going to have divided families, right? Someone's husband.
Like, what if you
and
like
the wife is going to be a Mets fan? Like
for example, like they do that in like others, like in World Soccer they do that, and then also college football they do that too. Like, you got like the designated sections for like the away fans. That'd be kind of cool to see. But obviously, they're just going to open the floodgates and see what happens.
Anyways, we'll see what's happening going forward with a playoff series. We were watching that very closely. All the sports, all the time. NFL, NBA, MLB. We'll be right here, Real Fans Podcast. Jojo, tell them where you can find the podcast.
All right, guys, you can find us on IG. That's Instagram, Real Fans Podcast. Twitter, you're going to have Gabe out there with his Twitter thumbs, tweeting all the funny stuff going on in the world. Apple Podcast, Spotify. We'd love to see some interactions. Like, comment, share. If I missed anything, throw it out there.
By the way, guys, I'm the main one that sees all the YouTube shit. So if you guys comment and everything, I will relay the message.
Of course. That's what he'd love to do. Anyways, Real Fans Podcast. We'll be here next week. All the boys will be here. We'll talk about more sports, more NFL. We appreciate all downloads and subscriptions. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.